Good morning and welcome. We are here at the 2025 ITTF Pan American Championships, the men's team event. It is Team USA versus Team Brazil in one of the two semifinals going on right now. I am Mark Thompson along with Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy, we get a treat right off the hop in this match between Team USA and Team Brazil, as Kanak playing as the A player for Team USA, will take on the X player for Team Brazil, Leonardo Iizuka.
Yeah, in an exciting match, Mark. These two athletes played this year at the Pan Am Cup. Iizuka led that match 3-1 in a best of 7. Ja ended up coming back and winning 9 in the 7th. But what I remember from that match is Iizuka's receives were unbelievable. He was just coming in and wailing the Ja serve throughout the match. And Ja actually mentioned that after the match. You know, he said Iizuka's receives put so much pressure on him with his receive. So I'm curious to see if he can do that again this match. Kanak, 25 years old, currently ranked 24 in the world. Iizuka, 19 years old, currently ranked number 83, Mark.
We've watched this Leonardo Iizuka develop as a junior player for Team Brazil in a couple of events here in the United States of America, and he really is on kind of one of those trajectories where you think he's going to be an elite player at the highest level of table tennis, as he is already, but certainly he seems to be pointed in the right direction right now, as this first match in a best-of-5 team-wise between Team USA and Team Brazil. The sets themselves are best-of-5 as well at this point of the event. Kanak playing as the A player will also play in the fourth match if it goes that far. And Leang serving as the B player for Team USA. Naresh is the C player. We're here at the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center. We're in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Beautiful day here in the southeast United States, and we've got top-level table tennis to start the day off.
So it looks like Ja's going to start out serving. So take a look at the Iizuka receive. I've got to believe he's going to have the same strategy as the Pan Am Cup, and he's going to try to put a lot of pressure on the Ja serve. Now, Ja knows that, so I bet you he'll throw in a couple deep serves early. One thing I like to do if someone starts pressuring my short serves, I start throwing a few deep ones in there to keep them honest and give them something to think about. Now, Ja doesn't have a lot of deep serves in his repertoire. He has one he likes to go to throughout a match, but you know, he doesn't have a lot of variety in the deep serves, so he tends to not serve deep very often. Iizuka, a very hot, cold player. There's times where you watch him, you're like, man, this guy is incredible. And then there's times where I watch him and, you know, he'll spray a lot of balls around the room like you saw there. So you're never quite sure what you're going to get with him. But boy, if he finds his A game, he is one tough customer.
It's interesting. He's not the biggest of guys, but he's got a lot of power for a smaller frame.
There's a rip right there.
Shows a little bit of it. Yeah, stepping up and trying to shake something off right there. He might have hit the end of the table as he was kind of coming forward to slam that ball home. Leads 4-1 here in game one of this first match. Team USA, Team Brazil, men's semifinals. It's the men's team event. Big time Iizuka stepping around for the backhand flip on the receive, but went long. 5-1 at the first foul break for Kanak. I think that's what I've seen from Iizuka as well, Jim, is he is a player, if he gets on a roll, watch out. He's very hot, and there are times where things seem to, I don't know if disintegrate is the right word, but they seem to go off the rails just a bit.
It's nicely done there by Iizuka, showing you his speed from both sides. There's a deep serve right there. Iizuka was ready for it, but that's what Ja wants to do. He wants to make sure Iizuka doesn't just come in on all the short serves and pounce on him like he did the previous match in that Pan Am Cup. Oh, that's beautiful.
Great forehand by Kanak. Ja opens up a 4-point lead here at 7-3. Beautifully placed and just no opportunity for Iizuka to reach out and get to that one.
Well, Ja was coming in for a flick. He had no backswing and then turned it into a loop. That was pretty looking technique. That was a nice receive by Ja, but Iizuka had a better reaction.
So you see that time.
Yeah, Iizuka served deep twice in a row. Ja was ready both times. Ja, one of the best receivers in the world. I've said that throughout this competition, and I say it every time I watch Ja play. He makes the receive game look so easy, you almost don't recognize how great he is at it. He just keeps bringing the ball back with quality receives time after time after time, rarely misses any. That is so hard to do. Receive is like perhaps the hardest aspect of the game.
Time beforehand goes long, and Leonardo Iizuka of Brazil is within 3 at 5-8.
So one thing I'm noticing, Ja has served a lot of half-long balls this first game. Perhaps that was his strategy. He's well aware of what happened last time, so he's been serving a lot of half-long. It's been throwing Iizuka off this first game. Iizuka's had almost no quality receives this first game, like he did their previous match, and Ja with a very smart strategy, serving him a lot of half-long. We saw one deep, but a lot of his serves half-long. I love that receive by Ja. You don't see him come up with that kind of creativity. Colorado does this a lot right there. You'll see him do that kind of stuff. Ja, not so much, but he threw one in there. But Iizuka said, get that out of here. Go back to your normal
Seen it
stuff.
before from Colorado.
That's right. He copied him, you see.
The sliced side spin backhand return, but too deep. And that does it for game one here in this first match of the team's men's event. 2025 Pan American Championships here at Rock Hill, South Carolina, the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center. I'm Mark Thompson, along with Jimmy Butler, an 11-6 victory in Game 1 for Kanak Team USA. And in that particular match, I thought, there were several examples. The moment you said, I started watching for it, how good Kanak is on the receive. And you could tell that Iizuka tried several different serves and certainly several different locations on the table, trying to change him up. As a matter of fact, for the 10th point that Ja had won, it almost like jammed Ja and forced him off the table. But somehow or another, like you described, Jimmy, he's able to get the ball back in a difficult way for the server to keep it in play.
Yeah, and that's why he's one of the best players in the world. The receive game is often overlooked by the viewer. We kind of watch table tennis and oftentimes see that finishing shot and say, oh, that was a great forehand finish there. But, you look at all the receives that set up those finishing shots. And Ja, one of the best at doing that. You don't get another look at his receive here. I don't remember him missing a serve yet. Oh, that's too good. Wow. Ja jammed that ball to his middle. He still took a step and had that kind of speed on it. That's not easy to do at all. You can see the frustration of Iizuka. He is really struggling on the receive this match thus far. Very interesting. I didn't expect that. That was his bread and butter when they played at the Pan Am Cup. Again, Iizuka led 3-1 against Ja at the Pan Am Cup this year. Ja ended up coming back and winning 9 in the 7th. It was a great match. Oh, I love that serve from Ja. He doesn't normally go this way with the serve. Watch him go the opposite direction in spin. I talked to Ja a couple days ago. We were hanging outside there in between matches, and I was talking to him about his serve. He's so good everywhere, and I was telling him, serve is probably the easiest way for him to improve his game going forward. He's so good in all other aspects of the game, so it's going to be difficult for him to improve there. He will improve, but it's going to be more of slow progress at best because he's so good, but he has a lot of room for improvement in his serve. So we were kind of talking about that, and I'd like to see him come up with more variety, come up with more different stuff. The serves he does do, they're okay, but he does kind of the same stuff for most of the match. The opponents start getting used to it, and that can be kind of a problem for him at the highest level. I was talking to him, I say, look, I'm talking about the highest level. You're 24 in the world, you're trying to break the top 10, and that's probably his easiest path going forward is to improve his serve game.
And you would think, Jimmy, the more elite level matches that you play, and Kanak just played a ton of them, you're going to see a lot of different serves. You're going to say to yourself, you know what, that really works against me. I might try to use that against somebody else.
And we were talking about his match with Calderano. Ja lost to Calderano 4-1 in this Pan Am Championship men's singles final, and Calderano just came up with brilliant serves when he really needed them. when we were at those 9-all induced games. There was 3 games in a row that went 9-all. They were the last 3 games of their match, and Colorado served them off the table a couple times at really important points of the match. Colorado has great serves. Number 3 in the world, can do it all. This is what Ja's so good at. He's totally out of position and caught off guard on that receive, but he still got it back. Made a somewhat quality receive, made Iizuka earn that point, wasn't able to do it. But I mean, Ja just doesn't miss any receives. Ball hit the net. That threw Ja off, and so Iizuka doing a good job this game, keeping it close. Now he's taking a 1-point lead, and I've been saying this throughout the competition. It's so important when you're playing these guys that are a lot better than you in the ranking to keep the game close. Then they don't just start swinging on you, and they don't play so relaxed. Puts a little pressure on them. What a point. And that's the best rally of the match so far. And Iizuka liked it. He heard his vocal cords getting animated there.
Great receive there by Iizuka. That serve was deep into the corner on the backhand side, and he was able to dig it out. Got into the exchange with Kanak Ja, 7-5, his first 2-point lead of the match for Leonardo Iizuka of Brazil.
That ball caught the edge. Watch this receive hit the edge right here. Once again, I don't think Ja has missed a serve yet this match. And we are past the midpoint of the second game. Great receives by Ja. Oh. This time Ja just kind of put the ball safely on the table, and Iizuka punished it. So now Iizuka's starting to heat up a little bit. Oh, I thought that point was over. Excuse me. And then he ripped that forehand down the line. I was like, what a great forehand, but then Iizuka got it back.
Oh, what a great touch shot by Ja. Short on the backhand side that time, and Iizuka couldn't handle it. And now we're tied again at 8. Because Ja could have thought the same thing, Jimmy. That point's over, but he stayed right with it and hit another great shot.
And Ja's such a controlled player. I'm kind of surprised when he rips one. He doesn't do it often.
Iizuka looks very comfortable in the backhand-to-backhand exchange. And Ja into the net. 9-8 for the Brazilian.
And a missed receive. I believe that's the first missed receive of this match for Ja. And that came in a big time for Iizuka. So I mentioned this yesterday, Mark. This is a best of 5, and this isn't a must-win for Iizuka, but it's an almost must-win. The odds of him coming back down 2-0 are under 10%. So that was a big serve there for Iizuka. And he's got a little bit of a cushion dealing with the Ja serve these last couple points.
Ja misses on the first third ball of that exchange, and it is Leonardo Iizuka with an 11-8 victory in Game 2 to even things up here in this first match of the team's event. For the men's, it's the semifinal. The winner of this one will take on the winner of Mexico and Argentina, going on right next to us over on table 2 right now, and that as this one is no matches to none. We're actually very early in the match. 1-1 here in the first one has Kanak taking on Leonardo Iizuka. Next up in the second match, it'll be Jishan Leang for Team USA against Guilherme Teodoro of Brazil. And the third match in the sequence, Naresh taking on Felipe Arado of Brazil. Of course, Hugo Calderano not playing in the teams event. I was told he had another WTT event he had to get to, I think in England somewhere. So he is actually on the road right now, not here. But Brazil still, even without Calderano, a very formidable foe.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we talked about it yesterday, Mark. Brazil in the last 20 to 30 years has won almost every Pan American Championship team event. I played in the 87, 91, and 95 Pan Am Games. Brazil won all of them. We came second to them. I played another Pan Am's in 215. They won that one. I mean, anytime I've played a Pan Am Games, they won every time. It's rare they lose in the team competition. Now, they are an underdog in this match because Calderano is not here.
And it's interesting that Kanak, he probably had the same options to travel, but has stayed here in Rock Hill, South Carolina to play with his teammates here in the men's team event.
Yeah, great to have Ja here with the U.S. team. I know his teammates are super pumped to get to play with him in this event. And Iizuka saying, hey, I'm pumped he's here too, because right now I'm in the third game with him and I'd like an opportunity to beat him for the first time. Oh, my goodness. And that's what we're talking about with Iizuka. Boy, when he's on, he can do stuff like that.
Check the ball here for a crack and maybe get a new one into play for Ja and Iizuka. Ja looked very comfortable that time in the backhand-to-backhand exchange, where Iizuka looks comfortable as well, but his shot would look like it went off the end of the paddle, and that can create a compression on the ball. I'm imagining, Jimmy, that can crack it.
Yes, anytime the ball hits the edge of the racket, the athletes will usually always check it, because that's most often the time when you can get a scratch or crack. Now, if it was me out there, I would just throw it away and get a new one. I don't know if they even let you do that, because
That's
we're
what
playing with one ball.
Who has the,
Yeah, I think they have to check it. That's why they're doing that. A lot of times, you know, in events, you'll see multiple balls going out there, but we're playing with one right now, so they have to form a committee anytime there's a change of ball.
What a beautiful receive that time by Leonardo Iizuka. Kind of an underhanded side spin deep to the forehand side. Beautiful, beautiful job by him.
I like it. Watch the step around right here from Iizuka to get to the backhand, but then he's out of position and goes for an absolute zinger. That gives you an idea of his thinking and his mind. I mean, that guy will go for Mr. Big no matter what position he's in. Probably wasn't a good idea. That ball didn't come too close to landing. He was way out of position, but that just shows you his mentality, Mark. He's ready to fire away no matter where he's at.
It's really twice in a row he stepped around to get to the backhand on what really is the forehand side of the table. Didn't need to that time, and leads now 4-3. Good third ball there by Iizuka as the return comes across Which is the fifth ball that did a good job of reaching out with the forehand. Now leads by 2. 1-1 in games. Kanak job. Leonardo Iizuka.
That's too good. Iizuka on fire right now. Started heating up in that second game, won it, and then has come out in this third game making quality shots.
Series of body punches there to Ja, who kept it alive, but for only so long. 6-3.
Nice serve by Ja, right into the body of Iizuka. Great time to serve deep. Iizuka just kind of lofted that ball up safe, and Ja finished it off.
Oh, great finish there by Ja.
Oh, beautiful. Started with a great receive, and then watch the finish here.
What kind of table tennis is down the line table tennis, Jimmy? It's
Winning table tennis.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, Mark. Oh, great job by Ja stepping around there on this deep serve. Normally he takes a backhand, he goes around, loads it up with topspin. That ball jumped on the Iizuka side of the table, and it hit the edge of his racket. That's what topspin can do to your opponent. That ball jumps. A little extra when you add a little mustard to that ball.
I see them checking the ball this time, but that one probably deserves to be checked. Our umpires in this match, Clive Johnson from Jamaica, Erica Ons from Canada.
Great serve. Well done on the serve game from Ja.
Ja's first lead of this game 3. And Jimmy, I was corrected that our other umpire is actually Sandra Rietti from Jamaica. So we've got 2 Jamaican representatives as the umpires, and we're going to look at the ball again. And Clive Johnson says, get a new one. Let's put a new one in play here, for crying out loud.
I played a competition in Jamaica in the 90s. That was my one time there. Boy, what a beautiful country. We were right next to the water. I remember the exotic drinks. They had the most amazing natural fruit drinks like I've ever had. I was drinking them every morning when I woke up.
Regaining the lead here is Leonardo Iizuka of Brazil with powerful forehand jaws. Return into the net. 8-7. Pivotal game 3. Here in the first match of the men's team event, Team USA, Team Brazil, semifinals.
Oh, what a receive by Ja. Watch this receive. Sticks around and just loads it up with topspin. Put quite a bit of speed on it. You saw what it did to Iizuka. Man, when a guy puts pressure on you on the receive like that, it's not fun as a server.
That was deep and wide. Beautiful shot.
That time Ja going with another deep serve, and then they go back into backhand. Iizuka comes out on top. It's another ball that goes off the top of the net for Ja in the backhand-to-backhand rally.
Kanak Ja, who is oftentimes at his best when his back is to the wall, has it there right now a little bit. Down 8-10 here in game 3 of this best of 5.
Quality received by Ja. Watch this again. Cuts it short. It was a little high, but Iizuka was waiting for a deep ball. So even though it was high, he was so out of position, he missed that. And we've got a timeout from Iizuka. He wants to talk this over with his coach and come up with a plan here to win this third game.
And trying to determine who actually called the timeout. It was Leonardo Iizuka, and an interesting moment to do so. But it's something we've talked about before, Jimmy, is when you're leading in a match, have a chance to close out a set, and the momentum shifts suddenly, and all of a sudden you still have the lead, so you want to preserve that and slow the momentum of the opposition. It's really an interesting moment with game point on the line to call timeout.
Yeah, and you know the first thing Iizuka and his coach are talking about is exactly what serve are we going to do, and then what kind of follow are we trying to do off that serve. But the main thing they're talking about is what serve are we going to come up with at this huge point of the match for Iizuka. So let's see what he does here. Now, if you're Ja, you're almost sure he's not going to do the same serve he just did last time because he lost the point on it. So usually you scratch that and you go to something else. So Ja's looking for something different than what just happened that last point. So Iizuka said, let's go to the short forehand of Ja. Ja was waiting for it. He jumped around. That means he anticipated that. Jumped around, and you saw what happened. Great receive. See, 2 great receives by Ja to deuce this game up.
Now a third game point for Leonardo Iizuka.
That's a great receive by Iizuka. Totally caught Ja off guard. He wasn't expecting to jam him deep to the middle like that. So we've seen 3 great receives in a row. 2 by Ja and now 1 by Iizuka.
That does it. As Ja's receive goes long this time. He hasn't missed many on the receive. But he missed one at a critical moment there. A 12-10 victory in Game 3 for Leonardo Iizuka of Brazil. Now leads 2-1 here in this first match of the men's teams event, the semifinals, Team USA and Team Brazil. And it was a very difficult serve for Ja to handle there, and his receive went long. And Iizuka takes Game 3.
And I love that serve. You'll see players do that a lot in this day and age at the high level. In the most crucial moments, you'll see a server serve deep quite a bit. It puts so much pressure on your opponent. He has to attack it. And at that point of a match, anytime it's deuce or add to one of the players, you know, you get a little bit tight in your muscles and there's a lot of pressure on you. So it forces you to have to make an attack. You saw what it did to Ja. And also Iizuka, he was getting no success on a short serve the last couple times. So just serve it deep, put the pressure on Ja. It worked.
This has the feeling of a long match right here. It's only a best of 5, but you get the feeling that this one's got some legs to it. It could run for a while.
It's one way to start a game.
Bullet of a backhand. Side spin away from Kanak down the forehand side. 1-0 Leonardo Iizuka. Up 2-1 here in the best of 5. Beautiful placement that time by Kanak as he goes to the forehand and then just inside out slam down the backhand side. He's on the board here in game 4.
Beautiful table tennis these first 3 points of this game. Just quality play by both athletes. Oh my goodness. Watch this receive. I mean, who would be ready for that kind of receive? Because he didn't put any topspin on it. That was a flat hit and an unusual technique. Boy, that would catch anyone off guard. Very creative by Iizuka.
Those shots look really easy, but you've got to be relatively precise on that shot. He caught the top of the tape that time, went long, but it looks like it's an easy slam, but let's see the players get a little careless sometimes when they pop up like that.
Just so steady. Even though we're at 3-all, Iizuka made 3 incredible shots, really, to get his 3-point lead. Ja just stays the course, hasn't made any unforced errors thus far, and we are tied at 3. So that's the tough thing about Ja. No matter what you do to him, he just stays the course. He makes so few unforced errors. That's another one of his great qualities. You just rarely see him miss any easy stuff or miss openings. He gets into every rally. Okay, there's a miss right there, so he doesn't do that very often. Oh, that's fantastic play by Ja. That last ball did catch the top of the net, but watch the defense right there. And then goes to offense, it hits the net. Ja's defense is amazing. You know, I was talking to him the other day. I was telling him how impressed I am with his defense. He hardly loses, takes a bad loss. I mean, when's the last time Ja's had a bad loss? Do you remember one?
I don't remember one offhand for sure.
Literally never happens, and that's incredible. Everyone has bad losses. And a nice backhand-to-backhand rally there. I mean, he hasn't lost to an American in 7 years. And on the international stage, you know, we just don't see him losing to like 200 in the world or anything like that. It literally almost never happens. His defense is so good when his offense isn't on and he's a little off, he can rely on his defense. Now, if he loses this match, it's not a bad loss. Iizuka ranked number 83 in the world.
And he's played very well. And he's up by 2 right now. Up 2-1, 6-4, 4-6 for Kanak Ja with the serve here. And a very important game 4 of this first match, the men's team event.
You know, when I mentioned that to Ja, I said, man, you haven't even lost to an American in 7 years. That's incredible. And he said, Arado hasn't lost a singles match in the Pan American region in like 10 years.
Pretty good record.
That's in the singles event. Ja beat him once in the team event. Other than that, he's won everything.
Ja able to step up on the forehand on the third ball here, right on the end and edge of the table, and out it goes 6-6 here in game 4.
Oh, big time serve by Iizuka. Ja has hardly ever missed any serves this match. That's only the second one I can remember. Now we're getting to winning time if you're Iizuka. Oh, man. That's what happens when you just push laissez-faire to Ja's backhand.
That skipped hot off the table and into the belly of Iizuka. We're tied again at 7. Move. Playing soft around the net, and Ja got maybe just a little bit too cute and ends up in the net. The thought was there, but just need a little bit more oomph, and he's down again at 7-8.
Oh, and Ja's loving that. Kind of got an easy one here. Just put that ball safely on the table. Got an unforced error from Iizuka. Boy, that feels good when you need one. Anytime your opponent gives you an unforced error, relatively easy shot, which that was.
At this stage of the game.
Yeah, it feels so good not to have to work so hard for every point. Beautiful receive. Kanak Ja on an important point of this match.
His first lead of game 4, down 2-1. Kanak Ja reaches out on the receive, and Jimmy, you've talked repeatedly about how good his receive is. That might have been the best of the day, and perhaps the most important to this point.
Is this the third ball change of the match, Mark? Are you keeping track over there?
It tells you something about the way these players are hitting the ball. Lots of velocity out there.
Another deep serve into the body of Ja. We saw him do that to win the last game when he had Ad. Does it again there at a very important point of this match. So, you know, these athletes, they remember what works and what doesn't work. And he saved that when he really needed it. Once again, that deep serve into the body of Ja.
6th time we've been tied in this 4th game. Ja down 2-1, 9-9.
Great job by Ja. Get this step around in right here. Kept that ball low, put quite a bit of speed on it, and worked that forehand side of Iizuka. Stayed away from his backhand. Great strategy from Ja.
And now with game point. Went fast and long there, Jimmy, and Iizuka had an answer for it.
Credit Iizuka with a great receive there when he needed it. Oh, he went deep again, Mark, but missed it. Went with a different serve that went deep.
You can tell by his reaction, not happy at all. Talk about kind of giveaway points that are fortuitous.
Oh, what a receive by Iizuka. Once again, comes up with a big-time receive off the jaw serve.
8th time in this game 4 that we've been tied, this time at 11. And Iizuka with the serve.
Oh, what a decision by Ja, and the execution was perfect. He knew it was coming deep, stepped around, and then the perfect execution. The intelligence of Ja on display on that receive.
Courageous play by both players, and I think Kanak's going to take his time out here, Jimmy, at a very interesting moment. His 3rd game point of this game 4, down 2 games to 1. And Kanak Ja is going to take a moment, talk it over with U.S. men's national team coach Mark Kaczynski and his teammates, and perhaps think very hard about the way this serve. This is an interesting decision on the serve. There's another example. Both players in the last 2 points, Jimmy, seem to have took a big chance, a big risk on the receive, and it paid off for both of them.
You are absolutely right, Mark. It's the receive game of both athletes that have really been the difference at the end of this game. Both athletes just going back and forth with quality receives. But you mentioned it, Mark. I'm really curious to see what kind of serve Ja comes up with. That's why that timeout was taken. Let's see what he does.
They've identified some weakness, or perhaps some different serve we haven't seen from Kanak yet.
Perhaps he goes into the backhand location of Iizuka on this serve. He hasn't done that in a while. He does. And it works. So credit Mark Kaczynski and Kanak Ja. They had a conversation. What serve should I do? They came up with a good one. And you saw the finish by Ja. Boy, that was great action, Mark, at the end of that game. And we are going to go to a game 5. This has been a great match.
Well, it shows, again, the resiliency of Kanak Ja. It's something we've seen out of Leonardo Iizuka as well, resiliency. But of all the players that I have had the opportunity to watch over time, Kanak Ja seems to be one of those who gets better the tougher the moment is. You know, this is something that you see in sports in a variety of capacities, but certain players, when the game is easy, they're great. When the game gets hard, you can't find them. Kanak Ja is the exact opposite. When the game is easy, there are times that I don't think he loses concentration, but I think that it just doesn't spark his most intense inner effort. And then as the game gets harder and harder and harder, he gets better and better and better.
Beautifully said, Mark. You couldn't have said it better. That really defines Kanak Ja, and that's one of the reasons he's such a great athlete.
The decisive game 5 in the first match of this men's teams semifinal here at the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center. We're in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Final day of the event. We'll have the finals later in the day. It'll be either Mexico or Argentina facing either Team USA or Team Brazil in the final of the men's teams. What a way to start game 5. Hot potato there between the two players, and Josh shot off the top of the net and out.
That is too good. What a start for Iizuka, the first 2 points. Watch this backhand. It's Calderano style right there. You know, I've watched all these Brazilian teammates, and so many of them have Calderano characteristics in their game.
I would say that would be one of the advantages to being on the Brazilian national team is training with a guy like Hugo Calderano. And you say to yourself, all right, how did that guy get to that point? And what's my path going to look like?
Yeah, on the female side, Bruna Takahashi, she actually is living around Calderano, training with him quite a bit. And just recently, I've noticed in the last 6 months, she's now got more Calderano characteristics in her game, especially on the forehand short game. Beautiful.
Ja using both sides of the table to take his first lead of this decisive game 5.
I love that forehand opening from Ja. No backswing. Notice he had no backswing. When you don't have much of a backswing, it's more difficult to miss-hit and mistime the ball. I love how he comes in with no backswing on that opening. And then you saw him finish that point off.
It's almost like he froze Iizuka by taking that short backhand or backswing. That is almost like, Iizuka couldn't do anything until he realized which way Ja was going. And Ja opening up a 2-point lead here. 2-4, Leonardo Iizuka with the serve. Looking to his bench to get a little bit of excitement. It's one of the things we've seen from the Central South American teams is they fire each other up in these matches. It's awesome.
Yeah, Iizuka started up 2-0. That's 4 points in a row now for Ja. Great answer by Ja. Oh, so fun to watch. It's not that easy to just whale a ball off the bounce like that.
Caught it about halfway up on the bounce that time and inside out. Steep angle off the table. No way Iizuka could get to it. And the players will switch sides now at 2-5. Iizuka with the serve.
2-5. Oh, great serve. Man, how often do you see Ja blow a receive like that? Wasn't even close. Great serve by Iizuka. See, this is what I was talking to Ja about. This is a point of the match where you really need to come up with a different serve. And he doesn't really have many other serves to go to. He's kind of got to keep going to these same serves. And that's what I'd like to see him change going forward. Because a lot of these athletes, they start jumping on a serve towards the end of the match. You get used to a guy's serve no matter how good it is if you keep seeing the same thing. So he doesn't have much variety to go with now. And Iizuka's pressuring him right now on his serve. There's another receive. Oh my goodness.
Wow, what a point. Great point between those two young gentlemen. Good block back onto the table by Ja a couple of times. And Iizuka going for the kill. Into the net he goes. 4-6. Good recovery on the forehand here by Ja, but the backhand goes long, and now within 1. Leonardo Iizuka. Game 5, all tied at 2. Ja won the first. Iizuka won the next 2. Ja won the 4th.
that's great table tennis, both athletes. Let's watch it again. Man, what a match, Mark, to start out this match.
I had a feeling this was going to go a long way, Jimmy, and it ain't over yet. Kanak up 7-5 here in Game 5. This is just the first match between Team USA and Team Brazil in the men's event. We're in the semifinals.
I don't know if that's a fire alarm. There's some kind of noise going on, and that's why Ja's backing off the table. Okay, it stopped, and we're going to start this point.
You know, Jim, you talk about different serves for Kanak Ja. He served one, I want to say it was at Nationals this year, that hit short on the forehand side and went sideways off the table. Have not seen him use that today. And it's one of those that I think he used it on the last point of a match in the Nationals. And it was kind of like, I even went up to him and said, "Where did that come from?" He just smiled at me, didn't say anything about it. But somewhere in the arsenal, there is another serve out there, I know.
And that was a good receive there by Iizuka. Great location, caught Ja off guard, putting it to his forehand. Oh, good job by Ja. Well, he got one off his serve that time. This is one of his favorite serves, heavy side chop. Iizuka dumped that into the net. So Ja coming up with a big point there on his serve. Ooh. You hear a lot of screaming going on. That's because the other table's in the fifth game as well, and they're going the distance. This all started with a beautiful receive by Ja. Watch the receive, locates it into the body of Iizuka, and then the finish right there. While we receive Iizuka. And see, I know what Ja's thinking right now as a server. He's trying to figure out, man, what serve can I do so I don't get that kind of pressure from Iizuka. So Iizuka really starting to pounce on the Ja serve. Let's see what kind of serve Ja decides to do here. Well, that was a quality receive by Iizuka, but Ja just too good right here.
I think Iizuka got crossed up there and blocked with the forehand side of the paddle, but wide, and a couple of match points here for Kanak Ja, the 24th ranked player in the world, playing the 83rd ranked player in the world, Leonardo Iizuka of Brazil.
And he does it. Kanak Ja trailed this match 2-1. They went to deuce in that fourth game. Ja pulled it out and then came out in the fifth and wins it 11-8. What a match, Mark.
What a way to start this men's teams event between Team USA and Team Brazil. Team USA going up 1-0 on the 5-set win there for Kanak Ja. It was 11-6, 8-11, 10-12. 13-11 and 11-8. So that one had about as many points as you possibly can in an opening match between two top players. And got to say a lot about Leonardo Iizuka. He's just 19 years of age, Jimmy, and the kid's got a lot of game. I noted that we've seen him before in some of the U19, U17 events in Pan American Championships on American soil before, and he is obviously a guy on the correct trajectory, And that Team Brazil has a way of developing players into the elite level of table tennis, which is as good as anybody in the world.
Yeah, and if you're Iizuka, you're thinking, okay, the last two times I've played Ja, I led 3-1, ended up losing 9 in the 7th. This match, I led 2-1. I was at deuce in that fourth game, wasn't able to win, and then of course we saw him lose 11-8. So he's literally 1 millimeter away from beating Ja.
Next up in this team's match for the men's semifinals, it's going to be Jishan Liang taking on Guilherme Teodoro of Brazil. And Jishan Liang, of course, from the United States of America, ranked 170th in the world right now, while Teodoro is at 141. So this is a fairly even match on paper. Jimmy, I'm not sure if the two players have seen one another before, but Jishan Liang, of course, a left-hander. I'm not sure about Teodoro. I think he's a right-handed player, if I'm not mistaken. We'll find out here in just a moment as Jishan steps onto the court. Jishan, who played in the men's teams match last up against Chile, was defeated. He played as the A player for Team USA in that one, and it was Gustavo Gomez of Chile who got Jishan in that particular match. And there was a battle for Team USA to get here. They had to play Mexico in the first round. They played Chile in the group as well. They won both of those matches. That catapulted them up here to the semifinals, where they will play the winner of Team Mexico and Team Argentina. A match is going on next to us right now. And that's just as slow moving as this one is, Jimmy. There's no matches in the books yet, but they are in game 5. Rogelio Castro of Mexico taking on Santiago Lorenzo of Argentina in the table next to us. And you can hear the responses of the two teams as that one's going on.
Yeah, Castro leads that 9-8 in the 5th game right now. It's a lot of emotion going on next to this table.
Guilherme Teodoro is a right-handed player from Brazil taking on the lefty Jishan Liang. As Jishan continues to be a major part of American table tennis, as he has been for some time. Jishan is one of those players, in my opinion, Jimmy, that when he's on, he's as good as anybody. He can hit shots, and he is a guy that kind of swings like Otani at the plate, kind of full-on swing from Jishan. Sometimes it's all or nothing, but when he's on, he's as good as anybody.
Boy, you're right, Mark. We saw him have a couple match points against Kanak in the Olympic trials last year. So he's got that kind of level, and he is a power player. He loves to get that big forehand in, very strong legs. He plays very safe and controlled on the backhand side. Jishan, 33 years old. Teodoro, 23 years old. And that match, Mark, just ended next to us. 11-9 in the 5th. Santiago Lorenzo wins over Rogelio Castro.
Great match to start that one out, for sure. That first game in that one, Jimmy, was 19-17, Castro to Lorenzo. That had a little extra innings, as they say, to that one.
That's a throwback score. I thought they were playing to 21 when I looked at that first score. You know, back in the day, we played to 21.
And the second one in that one will be Marcos Madrid, veteran from Mexico, taking on Horacio Cifuentes. That'll be a really good match over on table 2. We've got a good one here as well. Jishan Liang of Team USA taking on Guilherme Teodoro of Brazil. It's a best of 5 in sets in this, the second match of the best of 5 men's event. It's the team event, and we're in the semifinals right now.
It was a good look at the Leang forehand. He loves to get that big forehand in.
All right, Mark Thompson, Jimmy Butler. We're back here in Rock Hill, South Carolina, the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center, the ITTF Pan American Championships 2025. We are in the men's team event, and we are watching Team USA take on Team Brazil. USA up 1-0. Kanak Ja defeating Leonardo Iizuka in the first match of this team's event for the men. Semifinal. This is Jishan Leang, a 33-year-old from the United States of America, taking on Guilherme Teodoro. Our umpires in this event are Sandra Rietti from Jamaica and her country person Clive Johnson, also from Jamaica, serving as the officials in this match.
Leang likes to serve and try to get his forehand in on the opening. You don't see him open with the backhand very often, so his opponents know that. And you'll see him go out to that wide forehand like Teodoro just did on that receive.
Beautiful shot by Teodoro down the line and behind Leang, and it is a 6-3 lead for the Brazilian Guilherme Teodoro.
Yeah, that was a quick step around there from Teodoro. Watch how quickly he gets around and just swings. No short stroke there. Now Leang is definitely not in a rhythm. It's really kind of started this game slow. Looks a little bit slow with his body. Technique looks a little bit slow. That was a nice point there for Leang. First quality point we've seen him play this first game.
It's a good point. He actually looked very loose and limber there, going to both sides of the table from the forehand and backhand. That's really the way Jishan has to play. It's kind of loose and limber and just let it rip. Speaking of letting it rip, good shot by Teodoro to take a 9-4 lead here in game one.
Leang got bailed out there because that ball popped up. He was in trouble at that point, but a ball came in. We're going to replay that point. You notice Teodoro, anytime the opportunity is there, he likes to go to the wide forehand of Leang. That's common when you're playing a lefty. It's not just because it's Leang. When you get a righty-lefty, that's what you try to do. to your opponent. This game is all but a formality. You never say never, Mark, but it's rare you ever see a comeback when you're this far down.
And that does it. And an 11-5 win for Guilherme Teodoro of Brazil puts the Brazilian 1-game-to-none lead here in the best-of-5 match against Leang. This is the second match of the men's team event. Kanak won for Team USA in the first match over Leonardo Iizuka. That took 5 sets to win that one. And Team USA up 1-0. It got to win 3 matches in order to advance to what would be the finals of the men's event here at the Pan American Championships 2025, Rock Hill Sports and Event Center, Rock Hill, South Carolina. The third match in this sequence would be the fan favorite Sid Naresh from Team USA taking on Felipe Arado of Brazil. And if we go to a game 4, it would be Kanak, or match 4, it would be Kanak playing Guilherme Teodoro in the 4th match. And then if it went as far as 5 matches to resolve this one, Leang would take on Leonardo Iizuka. And it wouldn't shock me, Jimmy, the way things have gone thus far. This goes the entire distance. These are 2 very good programs, 2 very good matchman teams facing off against one another in an important match. Of course, you mentioned it yesterday, but by being in the top 8 in this event, you qualify for London. But I'm imagining that you're also developing points as far as where you're going to be seated in that event in the World Team Championships in London in 2026. So every match you play as a team has import.
Yeah, when I look at this match, USA versus Brazil, Kanak clearly a favorite in any match he plays, but all the other matches are right around the 50-50 odds. So that's what makes this match potentially go either way.
Beautiful shot there by Teodoro. Short onto the forehand side. There was no way Jishan could get to that ball.
Yeah, I love Teodoro's technique. He has such quick, short technique. It takes him so little time to finish his shots off. That gives him more time to react to the next ball. And that time he took a bigger swing, and that's why I like the short technique. Watch him take a bigger backswing here, and that's more likely to happen, Mark. The bigger your backswing, the more likely you can mistime the ball. Jishan comes up with a nice service there. Not known for winning a lot of points off his serve. He loaded that ball up with heavy underspin. A big start for Leang after looking flat that first game. So you can see Liang's uncomfortable opening on that backhand side. And when he does open, he generally is only going to do it safe. That's just not his strength. That's why he likes to get that forehand in. And so you see Teodoro trying to jam in there like he did on that serve.
Teodoro showing a wide variety of serves thus far in the match with success. That one was deep, right into the body of Leang. Teodoro hit his elbow there as he swung, and thought his elbow might have clipped the table.
I'm not sure if he might have strained a muscle because I didn't see him hit the table, but you might be right. Something happened. It'd be hard to hit his table on the inside of the elbow.
Just the way when his arm went up that way, it looked like it vibrated somewhat as it was coming up, but something got him there. Maybe it was a mosquito bite.
Great defense, yeah. It looked like Leang was out this point. Watch this get right there. And took it down the line. When you see those kind of shots, Leang didn't necessarily mean to go down the line. He was just trying to get it on the table, and it happened to go down the line. That's what threw Teodoro off.
Big swing by Jishan, but into the net it goes. And an 8-4 lead for Team USA's Jishan Leang here in the second match of the best of 5 between Team USA and Team Brazil. On that previous point, Jim, we got a good look from behind at Jishan's footwork, and he can still get around. He's very agile, and he's a bigger man, and he still moves around very well. Oh, really good exchange between the two players. Lots of pressure from Teodoro here. Leang staying on the forehand side, but wide out to the forehand side was Teodoro, and Leang into the net.
Best rally of the match so far, and that was vintage Leang. That's the way he likes to play, just drilling that forehand in one after the other. And Leang caught the top of the net with a little bit of defense there on his backhand side.
At the edge, too, and he's up 9-5. The serve coming across to Guilherme Teodoro of Brazil.
Great receive. What a cut by Leang. Let's watch it again. Watch him just load that ball up.
That does it for game 2. Jishan Leang returns the favor to Guilherme Teodoro. Teodoro won the first game 5-11. This one 11-6, favoring Team USA's Jishan Leang to even things up at 1 in match number 2 of this men's semifinals matchup between Team USA and Team Brazil here in Rock Hill, South Carolina. This is the final day of the 2025 Pan American Championships, which we've been very happy to host here. Great facility in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I'd be shocked if we're not back here. It's actually kind of a co-joined facility, a former textile factory that was renovated beautifully into a sports and event center. And part of it is a big expanse of 8 consecutive basketball courts, all co-joined with one another. A huge space there. And in a separate, they've got kind of an arena set up here, Jimmy, that we're having for the competition courts. It's a sunken arena with seats that go all the way around the building, and it's a basketball court on the floor, but we're able to set up 4 competition courts for this ITTF event here in Rock Hill. And the real work, as we say, starts later today. We'll be leading a crowd of crew through our teardown to get out of here safely and back to Colorado.
Much respect to the crew. That is not an easy job. Very physical. Here's that attack into the wide forehand of Leang. We've seen Teodoro do it throughout this match. When the opportunity's there, he likes to pressure that wide forehand of Leang.
Big dig off the side of the table here by Teodoro. deep to the backhand side, and he has his first lead of game 3 at 2-1 for Guilherme Teodoro against Jishan Leang. This flick backhand that time by Teodoro to the forehand side, deep in the corner, and Leang stretching out, caught the edge of his paddle, and up by 2 is Teodoro, 3-1 with serve.
There's a nice deep no-spin serve, made it look like it had heavy chop. That's what fooled Leang. We were talking about that yesterday, Mark. These athletes can disguise their serve. It looks like chop. That time, he made that look like no spin, and it was chop. And so that's hard to see as a viewer. You know, it's hard for us to tell what spins on the ball. Well, it's also hard for the receiver to tell what spins on the ball. That's why I'm so impressed with Ja's receive. He judges the spin so well, doesn't make hardly any mistakes out there in the receive game.
In contrast to the Ja-Iizuka match, this one has been on the runs of points by both players. First it was Teodoro, then it was Leang, and now it's Teodoro again, up by 5.
Yeah, you're right, Mark. Every game has just gone one way or the other from the very beginning. Right now, Teodoro really controlling the table well. You notice Liang's not really able to get his stuff in at all. He's just kind of paralyzed out there and mostly turned into a defensive player. Just kind of playing ball safe, can't really get in his big forehand at all.
Teodoro is responsible for that in large part. He plays very aggressively, and as you've noted, Jimmy, not with a lot of backspin. Everything's very quick.
There's a nice rally by both athletes.
Tried that inside out down the forehand line on Leang again by Teodoro, but that one missed. And it's 3-8.
A rare, strong backhand opening from Leang. He tends to take those when he's ahead or behind by a lot. Normally plays them safe.
The big run by Teodoro has him up by 6 as game point here in game 3. We're tied at 1 game apiece.
There's a big forehand by Leang. Haven't seen many of those this match. There's one right there. Able to get that one in.
And that does it for game 3. An 11-6 victory for Guilherme Teodoro of Brazil. Has him up 2-1 here in match number 2. Of course, Team USA leading 1-0. Kanak winning the first match in 5 sets against Leonardo Iizuka. And this one, if it stays true to form, Jimmy, should be Jishan Liang's game because we've gone in a complete seesaw battle here. It was 11-5 Teodoro in the first, then 6-11 for Leang in the second, and here it's 11-6 favoring Teodoro in the third game. So it's been not necessarily tight games, but we are relatively equal because both players have had good moments and not so great moments.
Yeah, this match going very fast compared to our first match.
It seemed to me that it would be better for Leang if things did kind of stretch out a little bit, because you noted it in the first game. It didn't feel like he was completely loosened up and relaxed. And from what I've observed of Jishan, he's at his best when he's in his comfort zone. Big swings from the forehand side in a very relaxed fashion, in my opinion. And when he gets on, noted it a couple times already, but when he's on, there's very few answers you can have to his forehand. But if it's off even a little bit, it is going to be problematic for him.
Yeah, Leang really hasn't found his rhythm at all this match. He's almost fortunate to be 2-1. I kind of felt like Teodoro just missed a lot at the beginning of that second game, and you saw Leang get the lead, and what a shot right there by Teodoro. Let's watch it again.
Two of them perfectly placed on the corner, including the winner, Teodoro, 1-1.
Yeah, Leang looks a little slow of foot right now, so I don't know if he's tired or just not warmed up yet. This is the first match of the day for both of these athletes. That's always the toughest match to play for any athlete. You know, that first match, trying to find your rhythm, can be very difficult. When you get a match or two under your belt, it gets a lot easier. But that first one,
Jimmy, you're an athlete who's played later into life. I would imagine as you do get a little bit older, it takes a little bit more time to warm up. Your preparation probably a little bit different than if you're an 18, 19-year-old kid who just pops out of bed and just jumps right onto the table.
no, absolutely, you're right about that.
Good point, but it goes off the net and out, and Teodoro with a 2-point lead here in game 4.
There's another good look at the technique of Teodoro. I love how short his forehand technique is. You know, one thing I've noticed, all athletes have short technique on their backhand, but more and more in today's game, you're seeing the athletes starting to shorten up their forehand technique, not take much of a backswing. Some of them are now even shortening up their follow through.
It stands to reason that to get yourself into position quicker to respond to the rally, that the shorter your swing is, the more opportunity you have to get your body into position.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, and it makes me wonder what took us so long to figure that out, because back when I played in the 80s and 90s, man, there was big strokes out there.
It's fun to swing big. Ask Shohei Ohtani. You swing big and connect, it's gone. And that's fun. It's the same thing when you play golf. You big swing off the drive, and you might hit it 100 miles. You might hit it sideways, but you hit it still fun. You hit it 100 miles. But right now, things going sideways a bit for Jishan Liang. He's down by 3. He takes his time out here. I think it's a smart move for he and head coach Mark Kaczynski and the Team USA to kind of talk this one over, see if there's any way to right the ship against Guilherme Teodoro, who seems to be kind of getting his sweat going here and getting better as the matches progress.
Yeah, and going back to talking about short technique, and to share that concept with the viewers, you know, I still like to play in the senior events. I play senior events at US Open and Nationals and stuff like that. And one thing I enjoy about the game the most is changing my technique. I've tried to shorten my technique now on my backhand and on my forehand. It's amazing how much more fun the game is because I have so much more time now, and also it's a lot easier. I don't miss it as much. It's just so much easier to do a shorter stroke. So everyone watching out there, no matter what age you're playing at or what level, you shorten those strokes up and you'll find the game's a lot easier to play.
Oh, good rally out of the timeout by Jishan Leang to draw within 2 here at 3-5. You know, and I wonder, Jimmy, how much the technology has factored in as well, because obviously as the rubbers evolve and more acceleration comes off of these compounds that are used, whether you don't need the big swing anymore. You just kind of, short, the short swing, and you can create that type of velocity off the paddle.
Yeah, technology definitely matters, but I'll say this, back in the 80s and 90s, watch that point right there. Wow. That's a nice backhand defensive swat there. Back in the 80s and 90s, we would glue a rubber, and there was so much pop on that rubber. You could get away with short strokes then, but if you go back to the 60s and 70s, I'm not sure the technique would have worked out so well with that technology. It's kind of like, what took us so long to put wheels on suitcases? Man, we used to carry our bags into airports. I mean, what were we thinking?
It's fun to carry bags into the airport. That's how you kind of build up your stamina. Wheeling these bags around, that's nothing.
You know, going to that point of suitcases back, I think it was around 2000, I had a lot of problems with my body, and I just didn't want to carry my bag anymore, and I was walking around one of the first guys with a carry-on into the tournament. I was wheeling my bag around, and I almost felt like people were looking at me funny. Now everyone's doing it.
You're a trendsetter, Jimmy. You know that.
I wasn't trying to set a trend, man. My body was so stiff, I didn't want to carry my bag anymore.
It's a good question. What took us so long on that one?
Oh, there's a beautiful big forehand from Leang. Teodoro. Now here's the problem with going to the wide forehand of your opponent. It has to be done with the right amount of speed, or that happens.
It looked like a good receive because of the placement of it, but it popped up just high enough to give Jishan the opportunity to bury it. And you can see what Guilherme Teodoro thinks of it. He takes his time out after that and says, you know what, let's slow this, because obviously game 4 here, very important. Teodoro would like to finish things out, and Leang has kind of battled his way back here. He's been down by as many as 3 in this 4th game, and he's now within 1. So Teodoro takes a very interesting moment to take his time out. Out of the timeout, great serve by Leang, and into the net goes Teodoro. And now we're tied at 7 here in game 4.
It's unfortunate for Leang. He got a nice big forehand there. What a nice reaction, though, by Teodoro. Again, look at that short stroke.
Time on the exchange, Teodoro kept going tighter and tighter to the body of Leang and ends up right on the rib cage. Final one, very difficult to handle. Leang again down by 2.
Leang's won a number of points on that heavy underspin short serve. You know, he's thinking he wants another one. Oh, he goes deep. Good reaction there by Teodoro. Not a bad idea by Leang. I didn't expect that.
Teodoro was able to adjust, get it on the table, win the point, and now has match point, a couple of them, against Jishan Liang of Team USA.
The problem with a deep serve is you got to get quite a bit of speed on it, or they're usually not very effective. And that deep serve didn't have a lot of speed. It was also popped up a little bit over the net. Teodoro able to react to it nicely. And that's what Teodoro doesn't want to do, is open up right into the forehand paddle of Leang, who's so strong there. So look for him to not do that again this point.
Great shot, great backhand by Guilherme Teodoro, who wins the second match here by a score of 11-9 in Game 4. He takes that to 3-1 over Jishan Liang. I thought Liang's receive was great there, Jimmy, but Teodoro able to respond again. He played very solidly and wins the second match of this men's teams event between Team USA and Team Brazil, 3-1.
And here we are, tied 1 match apiece in this team tie. That's kind of what I expected going in. And that was a really important match for Ja, that first match, to pull that out.
As that one ends up going for Teodoro, it was 11-5, 6-11, 11-6, 11-9. So next up on the agenda here for this men's semifinal teams match at the Pan American Championships here at Rock Hill, South Carolina, the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center. We've got Naresh from Team USA, the 123rd ranked player in the world, taking on the 218th ranked player in the world, and that is Felipe Arado of Brazil. And obviously, this is a pivotal moment as the match is tied at 1 apiece. It goes to show you how this third match in the sequence really is crucially important, Jimmy. We've got the other semifinal in the men's teams event going on in table 2 next to us. Well, hopefully we're not disturbing them too much by our commentary here, but that's a very interesting match as well, Jimmy. Right now, it is Argentina leading over Mexico, 1-0. They're in their second match between 2 very good players. Marcos Madrid of Mexico playing Horacio Cifuentes of Argentina. And right now it is a 2-1 lead for Cifuentes, who has match point in the fourth set of that match. He's up 10-8 right now. And so it looks like that one could be on the precipice of being a 2-0 lead for Argentina over Mexico if Cifuentes is able to win that fourth game in that match.
And Cifuentes does win that fourth game, so Argentina will lead Mexico 2-0.
And the winner of that one between Argentina and Mexico will take on the winner of this one, Team USA and Team Brazil. It's interesting, Jim, you certainly know the landscape better in the Pan American region than I do, but Argentina is a program that you hear from time to time. Very good program. Obviously, Brazil, great program there. Team USA program on the rise. Mexico seemed to be a little bit of a surprise to me, just a little bit. But one thing I saw from particularly the men's team from Mexico and the women's team as well, but the camaraderie amongst the group in Mexico is very, very tight. And that team atmosphere, I'm not totally shocked to see them make the semifinals because they wanted it so bad.
Yeah, and when you think of Mexico, you think of Marcos Madrid. He's been a really good player for a long time, but I think what surprised some people is how good their second and third player have played. They've really improved a lot, so they're no longer the Marcos Madrid show. They've got three guys that are playing quality right now, and that's why they're in this semifinal.
Couple of tall right-handed players here playing against one another on table one at the Rock Hill Sports and Events Center for the 2025 Pan American Championships, brought to you by USATT. Of course, it's an ITTF event. Our great sponsor, Butterfly, here with a booth. We want to thank everybody for coming out and watching the event and for being a part of it, all the support that we've received from the staff at the ITTF and obviously the officials as well have done a fantastic job. In this match, we've been treated to have our two of our Jamaican officials serving as the umpires, Clive Johnson and Sandra Rietti, and we appreciate their work and effort on these matches as well. It's not easy being an official at an event where so much is on the line and every decision can have an impact on the outcome of whatever event's being played. This is Sid Naresh taking on Felipe Arado of Brazil. And Arado, like Naresh, tall kid, and this could be a relatively athletic match as we look at these two guys, Jimmy.
Well, Mark, I want to watch Arado's stance in the receive position. Tell me if that reminds you of anyone. Watch how he receives. And watch this next one. When he gets into his receiving stance, does that remind you of anyone right there?
It's kind of got the Kanak John look to him a little bit there for me. But who are you going with? Is that Calderano?
You got it. He exactly like Calderano. I mean, Calderano's got this specific way he receives and the way he goes down, and Arado's totally copied it to the T. So that's kind of fun to see.
What's interesting, we talked about that, Jimmy, is that when you have a teammate like that who you're competing against by training with on a regular basis and has had such great success, why wouldn't you copy what he's doing? You're kind of like, it's the greatest roadmap you can get.
Yeah, I went to Sweden in 1989. I graduated high school and I moved to Sweden for 6 years and played professionally over there and played in the Swedish League and the Elite Series. And I was hanging around Peter Carlson and Eric Lynn, and I just started copying everything they did. They were both top 5 in the world, and I threw all my stuff out. I just copied everything they did. Didn't do it as well as them, but I tried to.
Naresh off to an early lead here. It's 1-5 with Arado on save. Interesting receive that time by Naresh as he cut across the ball, spinning it left to right.
That was a beautiful backhand by Naresh. Boy, he drove that ball forward. Naresh played Calderano in the singles, lost 4-2 in the quarterfinals. That was a good match. He was down 3-0, then won 2 games in a row before losing pretty easily in that 6th game. But Calderano had a lot of problem with Naresh's backhand serve to his forehand. Missed a number of them outright.
Arado having difficulty with that backhand. Now 3-8 here in game 1 of the 3rd match.
So once again, talking about this is the first match of the day for both these athletes, and this is very common when you see these guys play their first match. One of them can come out really flat. Arado's come out really flat. Naresh, not flat at all. I mean,
What
look
a
at that
beautiful shot that was. That's a block down the line. That's game point here in game one.
Wow. That was a zinger. He's trying to get that warmed up for the next game. That's not going to really matter for this game, but he needs that going into the next game. So you'll see these guys kind of swing wildly sometimes just to try to get some stuff going when they get way up or way down. You'll see funny shots happen in table tennis when someone's way up or way down.
Tuckman off the table, long off the serve of Felipe Arado. And Sid Naresh takes game one, 11-5. And right now with the teams tied at one match apiece, this is obviously a very important, pivotal moment of this semifinal matchup between Team USA and Team Brazil. It is Sid Naresh. And Sid is one of those players who really, you know, you hate to say that you kind of write a player off, but you kind of forget about it a little bit. And then all of a sudden, when you see him at the tournaments, you remember him really quickly. It's like he's one of those guys you think, doesn't pop up onto the top of your tongue like Ja or Leang or some of the other players that have played for Team USA, but yet when it gets down to competitive action, he's always in the mix. And he's one of those guys that I think, even though he's obviously a young guy, he's 21, is that how old Sid is right now? He is he's a guy who really, I think, has improved in the last couple of years, which sometimes you expect the opposite. But when a guy gets, goes to college, becomes 19, 20 or so, play starts to kind of dissipate a little bit. And Sid Naresh, in my opinion, has gone the other way. He's only gotten better as he's gotten older.
Well, you said it, Mark. The most impressive thing about Naresh is he's in college, so he practices half the amount. All these guys from Brazil, they're playing twice a day. Naresh, he plays, I was talking to him over lunch about his schedule. He plays 4 to 5 times a week. And then right before a big tournament like this, he gets a couple 2-a-days in. 4 to 5 times a week, that's not a professional schedule as far as practice. So that puts him at a big disadvantage. So obviously he puts college first, table tennis second. And he still plays this good, like you said.
Good start here for Felipe Arado, but Naresh on the board now at 1-2. Excellent points and good blocks there by Arado, kind of waiting out his opportunity. Pitched it down the forehand side, and Naresh did a good job getting to the ball, but ultimately it's a 3-1 lead for Felipe Arado of Brazil.
Oh, that ball popped up on Arado. That's what happens when you pop a serve up like this. That's an easy finish for Naresh.
Yes.
Naresh has very, very good banana flick receives. He'll go in there, sometimes play it safe like you saw him do there. He'll also go for zingers at times. He'll just go for rip kills on the receive. So he's very unpredictable on his banana flick receive.
Well, it's interesting, Jimmy. A lot of people, I've been around a lot of different sports, and you'll hear people say, well, what's the most important body part with respect to skill in athletes and sports? And oftentimes people will talk about the wrist. And both Sid and Nandan Naresh, to me, have extremely flexible wrists. And it's one of those traits that you can see in the way that they play. And I think it is, for a table tennis player, is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, they're very talented. They understand effortless effort. They know how to hit. You're never supposed to grip the rack, but tightly. And a lot of these guys understand at the highest level, but there's even levels within levels of understanding that you got to be very relaxed the way you grip the racket, and you've got to be very relaxed in your wrist. It has to be done in the right way. And they know how to use that wrist. There's another good look at it right there.
Good forehand that time by Arado, deep on the corner. Naresh not happy about it. He was there for the response, but it went looping long of the table. 5-7 Arado.
And that all started with a great receive right there by Naresh, and then you see the backhand, and then he wins the point.
9-5.
That's one Arado wishes he had back. This is a relatively easy shot for these guys normally, but that angle threw him off. Naresh won the last two serves outright off his serve. So Arado having problem with the Naresh serve just like Calderano did. And this game is getting away from Arado.
Well, Jimmy, what do we know? It's the easiest way to gain points in a table tennis match? The serve. Good shot that team by Arado. Good flip backhand, flip backhand. Some good pace on that ball. That does it for game two, as Sid Naresh takes a 2-0 lead. 11-5, 11-6 here in the third match of this men's team events. The semifinals pits Team USA versus Team Brazil and Sid Naresh. And if taking an early lead here, it'll be interesting to see if Felipe Arado of Brazil can kind of turn this thing around. But Jimmy, you've talked about in a best of 5, whether it's in the number of matches or in the number of games, when you get to 2-0, it is the statistical probability of your coming back takes a steep dip at that moment. I'm not saying it can't happen. Believe me, anything can happen. Anybody that watches the NFL knows that anything can happen. But I'm just saying that at 2-0 down, you've really got to find something in your game. It's almost like the opponent has to lose something too, that they almost have to lose their confidence.
Yeah, that's generally the case. I'd love a stat on that. I'd love for them to take all of the 2-0 or 3-0 leads in table tennis and get a stat, but it's got to be well under 10% that someone comes back.
And it's an interesting stat, not only sport wide, but individual to individual, because I can't guarantee anything, but if you looked at Kanak, how many times he's been down 0-3, we've seen it. Him being down 0-3 at the U.S. Nationals in the quarterfinals. I believe it was to Daryl South, if I'm not mistaken, and he's down through. And Kanak, that's when he played his best table tennis I've ever seen the guy play. I mean, he is one of those people when his back is to the wall, he only gets better, and I think that's a trait as a table tennis player could be one of the most important, because table tennis is full of adversity. That's the one thing I see out of it. I mean, I come from different sports, and all sports have adversity, but table tennis is full of adversity. It happens every match.
Oh, man, what a backhand there from Naresh. Let's watch it again with the opening, and then watch this backhand drive there down the line. Man, Naresh is in such a good rhythm. He looks so quick on his feet, kind of the opposite of Leang that last match. Leang looked a little slow of foot, not because he's 33, he just normally looks quicker than that. I'm not sure why he looked a little slower than normal, whereas Naresh looks as quick as ever right now.
And I think that Felipe Arado saw the same thing. He takes his time out here to try to slow the train of Sid Naresh, up 3-0 here in game 3, up 2-0 to none, 11-5, 11-6 in the first two. So they were relatively dominating performances in the first 2 games of this match. He's now up 3-0 here. And as you said, Jim, he seemed to look like he had the sweat going, and it was full speed ahead for Sid Naresh.
And he's really looked good this whole tournament. I watched him play against Marcos Madrid from Mexico in the team match. Naresh just took care of him 3-0. Not easy to do at all. The first game, Naresh was down and just went on an incredible run, then won the next 2 games easily. And once again, battled Calderano in that quarterfinal match in the singles. Lost the first 3 games easily, then kept it close the next 2. Played really well, won at 9 or deuce the next 2 games. Ended up winning the 6 pretty easily, but, going 4-2 against Calderano, I believe no one else, well, no, he had one other 4-2 in the tournament, but Naresh has been playing fantastic this whole tournament.
Out of the timeout, Arado gets his first point of this game 3. Let's see if he continues to have trouble with Sid Naresh's serve here. I don't know. Jimmy, that's kind of an underestimated element of table tennis for people who don't watch the elite game. When the ball comes down towards the edge, having the capacity to brush it back onto the table takes tremendous touch.
Unbelievable. Naresh saved 2 nets within that rally, and then here's the finish. Comes up with that shot to win. Saved 2 nets early in that rally. Got driven back from the table and came up with that shot.
He looks so comfortable when he goes deep off the table, too.
Wow, what a receive. I mean, Arado missed that towards the bottom of the net. Naresh got so much spin on that cut. And another great receive.
Complete opposite that time. The flick forehand across the table. Very tough ball for Arado. And now, up by 4 is Naresh.
And this is what's impressed me about Naresh. I mean, we talked about his 4-2 match with Calderano that he lost, but played well. But, I mean, Arado, this is a quality player. And he's just wiping him out right now. Did the same to Madrid. Just wiped him out, 3-0.
Arado not helping his cause there as he goes wide with the forehand. And now a 5-point lead for young Sid Naresh.
What's interesting, Naresh is usually very animated with his vocal cords. He's been winning this so easily. He's quiet. He's just doing this calmly.
Now he has match point here in the 3rd match of this team event, men's team event.
And he can do no wrong. Right there. Finish.
Off the net and out. Great block here by Naresh.
What a shot. Just from start to finish. Sid Naresh on fire. Could do no wrong. Did it calmly.
Steamrolls young Felipe Arado of Brazil, and now Team USA up 2 matches to 1 against Team Brazil in the semifinal for the men's team event. Pan Am Championships of 2025, Rock Hill Sports and Event Center, Rock Hill, South Carolina. Sid Naresh, straight set win there, 11-5, 11-6, 11-4. So Arado was only able to muster 15 points over 3 games there, Jimmy. So a rather dominating performance from the youngster, Sid Naresh, stepping in and hitting in the number 3 slot.
Man, that was impressive. I mean, from the very first point, it was all Sid Naresh.
Now here's a match upcoming that it has to be one that'd be very interesting, because I thought that Guilherme Teodoro played exceptionally well against Jishan Leang. You repeatedly noted, Jimmy, as the kind of short stroke forehand and backhand, very quick, very powerful, and he's going to face the number 24 player in the world, Kanak for Team USA, with the match on the line. So I'll be very interested to see Teodoro's play here in match number 4.
Well, absolutely. I like to say anytime Kanak jaws out on the table, it's a fun match to watch no matter who he plays, because he's just that good. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I expect Teodoro to come out swinging. That's generally what the lower player tends to do. They come out swinging, hope to find their A game and get into a rhythm.
Teodoro did appear to have a wide variety of serves that he used on Jishan Leang, a couple of fast and long, some good side spin short to the table as well. Be interesting to see how Kanak's exceptional receive skills match up against Teodoro's mixture of serves. And, I would imagine one of the elements that you would talk about with your coach, with your teammates is, what worked? What is the serve? Where do I start with this guy to put him in a position to ultimately win the point? So it'll be interesting to see what Teodoro took from the match with Leonardo, Iizuka, and Kanak earlier in the day, and what he's able to translate here in the fourth match of this matchup between Team USA and Team Brazil.
Yeah, and if you're Kanak Ja, he saw the Jishan Liang match, and Liang looked flat, and because of that, Liang facing Iizuka in that fifth game, Iizuka would clearly be a favorite. So Kanak Ja, he knows that he probably needs to close this match out, or Team USA is going to be an underdog in that next match.
Our officials here in this semifinal men's team matchup for the Pan American Championships, brought to you by the ITTF, are Sandra Rietti and Clive Johnson, both from Jamaica, which Jimmy has told us has nice fruit drinks there in Jamaica. So if you're making your way down into the Caribbean, that might be one place you want to stop off.
Unbelievable. Sure. They were like smoothies, and they would put like all kinds of exotic fruit on top of the smoothie, I remember, with a nice big straw in it.
Did you get an umbrella too?
I probably did. I don't remember, it was so long ago, but man, I haven't forgotten those exotic fruit drinks, and every morning I woke up, I would order several of them, and that was one of my memories of Jamaica. Other than, oh man, the water and the beauty of the coastline was my other memory. And of course, played some great table tennis there.
Jamaica still produced some very good table tennis players. And some pretty good musicians too.
They've also got some sprinters.
Oh
man. They have a need for speed in Jamaica.
They can go for sure. Hey, they also had a bobsled team. So there you go. They're multifaceted.
So once again, Teodoro, 23 years old, currently ranked number 141 in the world. Kanak Ja, 25 years old, ranked number 24 in the world. Obviously, Ja, a big favorite on paper. If you're playing these Goliaths like Ja is to Teodoro, you like it to be a best of 5 rather than a best of 7.
Interesting, yeah.
Much better chance to beat someone higher than you. In a best of 5, you want the match to be shorter. We saw Iizuka almost, beat Ja in that first match.
And at one moment, it did feel like the momentum had shifted heavily in favor of Iizuka in that first match. And true to form, Kanak Ja, that's when he kind of kicked it in and was able to right the ship, because Iizuka actually won two games in a row. Ja won the first one 11-6, but then it was 11-8, 12-10 favoring Iizuka. So Ja's back was to the wall. They went to deuce in game 4, 13-11 win for Ja there, and then he closed it out with an 11-8 victory in the 5th game to Iizuka. But that was a long, strategic kind of, battle that went on for a considerable amount of time.
And I'm going off memory. I'm pretty confident Iizuka was up 2-1 in games and 8-6 in that 4th game.
Right. I think you're absolutely right there. Check my notes on that, but it was.
So that's how close this match was to having Brazil up 2-1 right now. So this has been a battle, and we expected it to be a battle, Mark.
Sid Naresh took care of Felipe Arado to give the Team USA group a 2-1 lead here, but the one person who has won for Brazil right now is up on the court, and that is Guilherme Teodoro.
Here's another good look at that backswing. Watch the backswing of Jaw on his opening forehand right now. Very small backswing. Love that stroke.
Well, it's got a lot of power in there, Jimmy. It looks like sort of compact baseball swing that's very, very tight to the body, but has tremendous power and acceleration going through.
Yeah, and talking about short strokes, Teodoro, one of the best at shortening that technique. Watch his technique on his forehand. Almost no backswing. He'll even shorten his follow-through up from time to time. That time he did a little bit bigger of a follow-through, but I really like Teodoro's technique. Quick player, quick strokes, short and quick strokes. And there's the receive game of Jaw. Again, easy to miss these points right here, but it counts the same as a long rally.
It was a nice serve by Teodoro there, the reverse pendulum. It looked like it had a lot of spin on it, but Jaw not phased at all.
Yeah, and those are hard to cut short, those reverse pendulums, but Jaw's so good at it. That ball barely missed. I almost thought it hit. I didn't even see it from up here, but there we go. It went off the top of the net. Just so good at that forehand flip kill. Doesn't miss many of them. He gets a lot of power. Under the coach from the Lilly Table Tennis Center, Amy Wong's coach, Corey Eider, he mentioned that to me. He said, man, Jaw's forehand flick is just so good. One of the best in the world.
If it pops up on the short side of his forehand, he's able to reach over the table. You're in trouble most times.
It's a lot of quick points right now. Not many rallies happening. Most shots ending in the first 2 or 3 shots of every rally thus far.
Seems like Teodoro would favor a longer rally if he can get it from Jaw. Jaw trying to finish these points quickly. Finishes that one relatively quickly as well.
Interesting. Jaw was thinking about flicking it, and then he changed. He goes, I think I'll loop it. I thought he was going to flick kill that one.
I think it was a good decision there, Jimmy, because I'm not sure he was quite in the position to do that flick kill on the loop. It's a very difficult ball to handle.
And there's our longest rally of this match so far. Watch it again here.
Several good shots from Teodoro in that sequence. One of them on the backhand block just did catch the side of the table, or I should say the top of the table, but it was on this side, on the forehand side, and I thought it was going to edge, but it didn't. It bounced up nicely from Jaw. Great decision by Kanak Jaw right there to use the forehand side on the side spin, going right to left, going wide out. And now it's 9-4, 4-9 with Teodoro on the serve.
Boy, Boy, Ja's just been receiving perfectly this game. Not missing any quality receives.
10-5.
And that was a 10-4 serve. He was just, came up with that was really a lazy serve. There was no speed or anything on it, but it's 10-4, so you can do that. I don't know why he did it, but it's allowed when you're up 10-4.
11-5.
And that does it for game one of this
11-5.
fourth matchup in the men's team event. The semifinals, Team USA and Team Brazil, Pan American Championships of 2025. The Rock Hill Sports and Event Center. We're in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Kanak Ja against Guilherme Teodoro of Brazil. Team USA up 2-1 at the moment, and Kanak Ja trying to close things out. Starts with a 11-5 win here in game one. And you noted it a couple times, Jimmy, but the receive for Kanak Ja in that first game, we've talked all day about his capacity to receive, but it was very good. Fully on that time. Teodoro did not have an answer on his serves for Ja in that first game.
Yeah, Ja, like a magician in the receive game, just comes up with all the right stuff. And it was on full display in that first game. And, you know, I've mentioned this a number of times. It's easy to miss how good he is at the receive game because generally we see, you know, how an athlete wins on that last finishing shot. And you remember that and say, oh, what a nice forehand. But it's easy to not see how good he is at the receives. He just receives them, the serves like they're easy and makes quality receive time after time. Rarely misses one.
You know, a corollary of that, Jimmy, for me, is it's easy to forget the serve and how important that is an element in this sport. When you see the great players, they all have this wide variety of serves that they can bring on. The guy that stands out to me is Fan Zhendong, obviously, but I remember the match he played against Kanak in Paris. There were so many different serves that he hit in that game, and Kanak played great in that match. But to reach the highest levels of the sport, you really do have to have a whole toolkit in your capacity as far as serving the ball is concerned. It's kind of easy to overlook sometimes.
That time Teodoro served deep twice in a row. Both of them were effective. He just blew the previous point. Ja popped it up. That time Ja with a quality receive. Just wasn't able to win the point.
3-1. Next. 3-1.
Oh, that was creative by Ja. Watch the backhand right here. How would you like to deal with that shot? Well, Teodoro dealt with it pretty nicely, but Ja had a nice follow there.
Note that in the other semifinal, Axel Emmanuel Lovo Alvarez of Mexico has played very well in this tournament, ends up winning his match and keeping Mexico alive against Argentina in the other semifinal. Argentina's up 2-1. Great match coming up in number 4, the match number 4 in that one. Horacio Cifuentes of Argentina taking on Rogelio Castro of Mexico. So Mexico not going away easily for Argentina in the other semifinal, Jimmy.
And again, we mentioned it earlier, their number 2 and 3 player so much improved, and there they got a win in that third match from someone other than Marcos Madrid.
Backhanded by Teodoro into the body of Ja. To draw within 3.
Sorry.
3-7.
Wow, what do you do when a guy goes deep and fast and then drills 2 in a row? Well, you just tip your hat to him.
That serve had more pace than I think any we've seen all day. That was the hot rocket from Kanak Ja.
3-8.
But, you know, talking about that deep serve of Ja, and it was a nice deep serve. The problem is when you go down the line, you don't want to create spin that comes into your opponent. You want it straight or you want it to go away from your opponent, but that's the only deep serve he really has.
Beautiful backhand by Kanak Ja. Flip backhand, power into the forehand corner. No hope for Teodoro on that shot. And it is now 9-3, favoring the 24th ranked player in the world, Kanak Ja of Milpitas, California. Now living, of course, in Germany, where he plays professionally and having all sorts of success on the international circuit.
10-2.
Well, Ja making it look easy right now. First game was easy, the second game easy. He's sharp.
11-3.
That does it for game 2, an 11-3 win for Kanak Ja. And now Brazil on the precipice of elimination here in this semifinal match for the men's team event, the Pan American Championships of 2025, brought to you by ITTF. And again, we do want to thank everybody who's come across and helped us out in this broadcast and also helped out in the operations of the event. Certainly a different type of event than we ordinarily run at USATT. Our next big one, Jimmy, hope to see you at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas for the U.S. Open, December 16th through the 21st. Going to be bigger and better than ever. I think we're planning 140 tables, so I might want to get my sleep before the setup on that one. That will be fully beat up after putting up 140 tables all floored and ready to go at the beautiful Mandalay Bay Casino and Resort. We'll be in the same halls we were in last year, halls E and F, 188,000 square feet of space. A little different setup. I think we're going to have a little bit more, what I'd say, sophisticated show court element going this year at the U.S. Open, so it ought to be a lot of fun.
Well, Mark, if you say Las Vegas, I'll be there. I've been going there since I was 5 years old. I have video when I was 7 years old there at Caesar's
On the
Palace.
tables?
So I love Las Vegas. It's my favorite place to play table tennis. Great city. And it's the favorite destination for not only American athletes, but international athletes. We tend to get the most entries when we're in Las Vegas. Already have a ton of entries, and we're only in October thus far. If you go on Omnipong, you can look at how many people have entered, and you can also enter there. Omnipong.com.
It's interesting this year because is my understanding, it's December 25th, actually. On Christmas Day, they're going to release the movie Marty Supreme, which, of course, is about Marty Reisner, a very famous kind of, showman, gambler, table tennis, anything that was, he was one of those guys. Anything could be bet on, I'm sure, but it is an event that ought to be pretty big, and we've been talking with the production company for that movie, and there's perhaps some synergies between USATT, and I don't want to promise too much, but I would expect them to be in some form or fashion at the U.S. Open in Las Vegas.
Well, I'm talking about Marty Reisman. I got to play him personally. I played him in 2
How am I not surprised about that?
hard bat money matches.
Money matches?
You know, he was in his 70s for sure. And so I had a chance to not only play him, but talk to him and hang out with him a little bit. And boy, what a fun guy to not only play against, but to hang out with.
Just a character.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, he's
He's being played
Memory lives on.
He's being played by Timothy Chalamet, who's probably the most famous actor on the planet at the moment. And wouldn't mind seeing Timothy Chalamet show up at the 2025 U.S. Open at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. Wouldn't shock me if he did. He's one of those guys that he's a character too. So anything's possible, Jimmy. Don't want to promise it, but I've seen stranger things happen in my time.
Yeah, I played a match against Marty Reisman in hardbat at a U.S. Open in Houston, Texas, which is my current hometown. Oh, nice rally. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Power on both sides. Good short, snappy backhands there from Teodoro, but it's Ja who takes the point ultimately and now leads 4-1 here in Game 3, up 2-0, trying to eliminate Brazil from the men's team event here at the Pan Am Championships.
Yeah, so I played Marty Reisman in Houston, Texas once. Then we played a second match in his hometown of New York City.
I can only imagine who showed up for that match right there.
Yeah, there was a crowd there in both matches. Oh, great receive. Just jumped on it right into that forehand middle of Ja. So let's see if Teodoro can keep this game close, not let it get away from him like he did the first two. There's a nice, well, this rally hasn't stopped yet. That'll finish it right there. Josh said, you know what, I don't feel like going for that drop shot and breaking my ankles. I'm just gonna let it go.
Next. 4-all.
Another good look at the technique of Ja. Watch the opening, short backswing. And for Ja, he didn't go for a lot there, but there still was quite a bit of speed on that ball. He can kind of do that all day. And the reason why he's so good, he can come up with that pace almost every time. He's playing a stronger player. He'll go for a little extra pace. That was a nice receive. And Teodoro forced Ja to have to kind of loft that ball up softly. Still wasn't a bad opening by Ja. He kept it low to the net, made Teodoro earn it.
That's the type of shot we saw from Teodoro against Leang. Lots of power, lots of aggressive, a lot of forward momentum when he strikes the ball.
5-7.
It's Ja's favorite serve when he wants to win a point. He likes to go heavy side underspin to his opponent. Probably wins more on that serve than any other variation. That caught the top of the net. It threw Ja off.
Very nice receive there, tucked down by Ja, and stepping around on the backhand, a flick to the far corner is beautifully placed. It's up by 2, 8-6 with the serve here in Game 3.
And that toss got away from Ja. Watch this, he has to move over a little bit. He's like, whoa, I didn't mean to toss it like that, and it caused him to not get that serve short. Kind of lost control of the toss there. Don't see that very often.
Two receives in a row that time by Teodoro, both of them beautifully. One on the forehand, this one on the backhand. Just a bullet goes by Kanak John. We're all tied at 8 here in game 3.
Well, this is what I've talked about, Mark. If you can keep the game close against these Goliaths, which Ja is to Teodoro, you get them to start making some mistakes like that because now he's got a little pressure on him. When he gets a big lead, it's game over.
Now with game point is Teodoro, who led for the first time in this one at 9-8, now up 10-8. We'll take the towel break here and see if Kanak Ja can muster. That is 4 consecutive points for Guilherme Teodoro.
Yeah, and Ja out of rhythm. Struggled with his serve. Missed a few easy balls, and that'll do it.
And Teodoro used that same strategy of just stepping back and big swinging off the receive, and it pays off again. And an 11-8 victory here in game 3 for Guilherme Teodoro keeps him and Brazil alive here in this men's team semifinal matchup between Team USA, Team Brazil. Ja still up 2 games to none. He won the first two 2 games to 1, 11-5, 11-3, but that one 11-8 favoring Guilherme Teodoro of Brazil, who looked like he was riding the momentum, and he certainly rode the momentum of 5 consecutive points to finish that one out, Jimmy.
Yeah, and great job by Teodoro coming out in that third game and just keeping things close early. Wasn't able to do that the first 2 games. And then you saw by keeping things close, and then we were very close going down to the end. Ja just kind of fell apart there at the end and really lost his rhythm. Struggled with his own serve, kind of missed some gimmies early in the rally, and then you saw that last point.
It's interesting because you saw it in live action how he had to kind of readjust on that one high toss serve that he had, which I don't think I've seen that happen in the entire tournament yet. So maybe it has. I have not seen most of his matches, but it's just interesting that could be just a momentary lapse of concentration on the toss-up.
Well, he might have heard you from down there because that time he tossed it towards the middle of the table and didn't come back towards that inline at all. Perhaps he's aware of that, making sure he doesn't throw that ball too far back. Nice start by Ja.
Looked like he had the opportunity to kind of slam flick that one. Instead of just put it kind of soft down the middle, and Teodoro missed it. And Ja up 2-0 here in game 4.
Teodoro wailed on his last couple serves in that last game, so good job by Ja coming up with serves, keeping Teodoro at bay so he didn't pressure him on the receive. Here's the short game. Oh, great job. There's that forehand flick we talked about, Mark. Ja's so good at it. He's also really good at the short game.
It's a good block back by Teodoro, but it went long, 3-0 Ja.
And that's nicely done. Let's look at the forehand of Ja. Nice reloop, and then down the line, because down the line table tennis is
Spinning table tennis, my favorite type. That's a beautiful shot right there. Kind of changed him up. I don't think he expected him to go to the backhand side on that.
nice serve. No spin. Got him to blow that off the end of the table. So Ja changing things up on his serve and has been really effective this whole game. Oh, is that?
Not Ja feeling it a little bit here. Inside out forehand to the backhand side. Lots of power. Steep exit angle, as my good friend Adam Barbaro would say, and it's very difficult to get at. And Ja has opened up a 6-point lead here in game 4.
And these great players like Ja, they can go out of rhythm. We saw him go out of rhythm at the into that second game, but it doesn't generally last for long. He comes right out in this fourth, runs off 6 points in a row.
Love 7.
And that may do it right there.
Yeah.
8 points in a row for Jaw. Wow. So once again, he was going to go down the line with that serve. Doesn't at 8-0, he can do whatever he wants right now, but the spin comes into the opponent, so it's generally not going to be very effective. You want that spin to go straight or away from your opponent, so that's something John needs to work on. He's got to have a down the line serve that goes straight or away from his opponent if he's going to do it, and I think you need to have a down the line serve, especially if you're playing a lefty, right?
Anything that kicks out to the side off the serve can be very effective. And
so you don't see Jot do this very often, but when you're up 9-0, you start serving from your forehand court. These are some of the best times in a match when it's all but over. And you can just kind of relax out there and enjoy the moment.
Man,
oh,
that
man,
does it right there.
11-0.
What a way to end it for Kanak. A bullet of a backhand. And Team USA has advanced to the finals of the men's event in the 2025 ITTF Pan American Championships here at the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center. They are going to play the winner of Mexico and Argentina, still fully in bloom on the table next. But very solid performance, Jimmy Butler, by Team USA as Kanak wins a couple of matches. Sid Naresh wins his against Felipe Arado in the third slot. And they end up winning 3 matches to 1 over a very good Brazilian team. So USA has now defeated Mexico. They defeated Chile in the group stages and now have advanced to the final with the victory over a very talented Brazilian squad.
Yeah, and you know, if you look at the final scorecard, if you're at home and you're just kind of going to Google it, you're going to say, USA won pretty convincingly 3-1. But in reality, it all came down to that Kanak Leonardo Iizuka match. Iizuka led 2-1 and 8-6. If Iizuka wins that match and then everything goes to form like it did, we'd be in the 5th right now, and then Iizuka would be a favorite against Leang. That's how close this match was, Mark.
And I think that we're going to see Leonardo Iizuka in the future and Kanak going head-to-head in upcoming events. And Iizuka does give me the impression that he's a kid on the rise. He's a guy that's getting better over time and is a player that's going to be reckoned with in the international events, including perhaps the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles.
Well, Kanak called him one of the top up-and-coming players from South America when he beat him at the Pan Am Cup when he trailed 3-1. So well said, Mark. He's definitely a talent that we will all enjoy watching in the future.
All right. Well, so Team USA is on to the final in the men's event here in the ITTF Pan American Championships of 2025. We're at the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center. Jimmy Butler, I hate to say it, but my attention now has to turn to getting us out of here in one piece and hopefully not damaging anything in the process, including my body, what's left of it. But I've really enjoyed, as always, commentating with you. I learned so much about the sport every time I get the opportunity to sit in and talk with you. So I very much appreciate your patience with me, and thank you very much, and I wish you the best. I know you'll handle the finals well going down the stretch here.
Well, thank you, Mark. Always an honor and a joy to hang out with you and call these matches. And ladies and gentlemen, and all the viewers out there, look forward to having you back with us, and I'll be back with you to call the finals.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good day.